This conference will now be recorded.
No, basically, I tried to close it again and then try to reboot them.
अच्छा अच्छा
I was able to log in. It allowed me. And before the class starts today, like I just started 10 minutes before, and I'm in the, designer studio. I'm able to log in.
very good.
Yeah.
So let's create our first application. Our application. So so let me show you how it is. By the time it boots in the sense logs in. Okay, so what we'll be doing is we'll be creating our main. We need to have our main organization. What do you call level. So if it is like HDFC, it becomes HDFC. If you want any name, you can do, but maybe I can take Tesla, so that it's different from what I have. So our main organization will be Tesla. Then we can have multiple divisions out here. Okay, so we can have uh, Tesla here. But so once we have Tesla here as a main organization, then we can have multiple divisions. So we could have insurance, we could have loans, or so just consider this is like a vehicle insurance company because our use case is like that. Then we'll have insurance, we have loans, and we have claims or whatever. So then we have the units down here. We can have multiple units, asset one unit. So this is kind of an organizational structure I'm talking about. So what? So the idea here is, for example, if you build the application for, suppose you build an application for loans, because suppose the organization is trying to get into Pega. So what generally they do is they actually build for some one part of it. So suppose they build for insurance first, okay, and then they will implement everything, and then then they will actually migrate to other departments, right? Then they'll migrate here to loans, then they'll do claims. So generally this is how the development happens. Suppose you are Tesla is new to Pega, they will develop here, implement everything, and then they will move to loads, and then they move to claims. So what happens is, so what we do is, we before only there is a due diligence, or there is one kind of a exercise done to make sure that what all as an organization, what all things are common across departments. So there are, if there are few features which are common across the departments, then those features are actually done taken at the organization level, right? For example, if I want to since we are talking about Pega, we'll have, as I said yesterday when I started the demonstration, there are three things we need to understand. One is what do you call? So these are the three components which always the application will work for. So one is, this is data, this is people, and then we have systems. Okay, this is how the whole ecosystem works. So when I say data, data is where your Excel files or your data information is flows between the people and the systems. When I say people, people are the which needs to act on it. So these are the people we need who need to, these are the actors. These are the actors, right? Because the people who these are the people who act on the this is information, right? And this is what, this is basically your application. So these are the different applications in a system. So these are the three ecosystem components that your any system in our domain will have. If these are the components of the system, then you need to have information passing from here and there. Right? It has to go from here to here, here to here, and here to here, right? So so if I talk about Tesla at the highest level, we need to have. So suppose I'm building for insurance first, and then migrating to loans and claims. So before only we need to do some kind of a study to understand what are the common features across all this, you know, divisions and across all these units. So I can give you some examples like customer information. So customer information can go here, right? Employee information can go here, because suppose you are trying to create new employee information like employee ID, their pay scale, their salary, their which department they belong to. So those kind of attributes or those kind of properties of an employee or customer, you can tag it to the tester level, because it will be common across various departments. There could be some variations, that is fine, but at least those things are quite common, right? So there could be, if you're talking about a banking application, then bank branches, uh, you know bank what do you call operation, in the sense what they do basically. If I'm just talking about a banking application operations, their location information. So those generic information can also go at the organization level, because those kind of things can be. So once you put it here, it flows down. So you guys know the concept of inheritance, right? So those information inherits. So this is the becomes your parent. This becomes your child. So all this information which is common, we always put at the top level, and then it flows. Suppose there are some information which is common to insurance. For example, you want to understand, insurance providers, right? So there are insurance providers out there, third-party insurance providers. If Tesla is there, they want Reliance to provide some third-party insurance in this case. So you can put it here, so that these units, for example, if this is Bangalore unit, sorry, if this is California unit, uh, this is Washington or Washington DC or whatever, and this is your New York unit. So if these units wants to leverage all these insurance providers, you can put it here, because this insurance providers doesn't make sense for loans, neither for claims. So why should I put it here? I won't put it here. I put it here. So when I create these, so what are these called? These are actually your objects. So these basically are objects, or what do you call it? These are basically your components which you use in terms of coding. You can say objects. So this insurance providers. So these are the configurations that we do. So we have to decide what level it has to go. So basically, it's your design, how you design your application. So here comes the concept of inheritance, right? So when you say inheritance, you have to understand where to put these stuffs, so that you understand how that
So Shiva,
works.
you said the insurance provider, we call it as objects, right? What we call on the top ones, which you put bank, branch, and other things, it's called inheritance.
No. So when I say objects, see basically these. So when see in real in our programming, in IT terms, Tesla,
Yeah.
in Tesla will be, this is an organization for us. This
Okay.
is an organization hierarchy for us, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And these are the properties which are tagged to the hierarchy. These are the properties which are tagged to the hierarchy,
Hmm.
right? In our Pega terms, we'll call this as classes.
The
These
top
are
one says
classes.
class.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a class. Okay.
Oh, okay. That's
Uh,
what my question was.
yeah. In Java language or anything, we'll call this as class, right? Class is in the sense of an object, right? So when
Hmm.
we define a class, it will be bank class or bank operation class, location class, customer info class, employee class. Okay. So let me give you some more information.
Like basically in SAP also we have something like a master data. So the master data is across, and then you
Hmm.
have specific to that particular area like SDMM and other things. So
Huh.
yeah, I got you.
Yeah. See. So I'll give you one more example, a very simple example. So suppose I'm talking about, I'll take one information as automobile. So see, when we talked about previously, we talked about two components. One is we talked about organization structure, org structure. That follows one hierarchy, right? And then you have classes tagged to orgs, right? Like I said, bank information, all those things, right? See, if I open this up, I just saved it. So just put it on. See, now this is organization structure, okay? And this is your class, right? So there are two different components we're talking about in this whole diagram. is it not? And then you're following inheritance. Inheritance means if I define here,
It's
automatically it will
shared.
flow. It is flow down. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to break down into different things now. So organization structure and classes, what we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's suppose we want to understand this. So I'll take automobile. So I'm not now only talking about this. I'm not talking about org structure. Leave the org structure aside. So if I take up an automobile, what are the properties automobile has? Automobile has, what is this? Automobile has, so even automobile has so many properties. For example, I would say, if I want to define automobile, I'm just trying to understand, trying to tell you the how the class structure is laid. If I want to define automobile, I would say it should have an engine. Okay, it should have HAC.
Mm-hmm.
Then it should have a transmission, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it should have a platform for all the components to be installed. Okay, so, sorry, it should have a what do you call your Euro complaint or whatever. I mean, forget that. So these are the components of the automobile. So why I need these are the common components any automobile will have, right? Then I can classify the automobile into different components. I can classify. I'm just trying to explain the class structure. Maybe you guys know this, but just to cover that, this is a video because other people will be looking at this video. So automobile will have, suppose we have a truck going here, and then we have one a sedan or car or sedan going here, and then we will have other classes like military vehicles or heavy vehicles or military vehicles. Okay. They will have a different class, right? But these properties are also taken by the truck, also for the sedan and for others also, right? This is common properties, right? For the military vehicle, I can put, it should be like, what do you call four-wheel drive or four-wheel drive or differential wheel drive, or, you know, I can also say that it needs to be, what do you call underwater resistant or whatever. It should have all these features. Sedan should be for normal, it should be have a good pickup or whatever, right? And this should be actually able to carry heavy loads. I'm just trying to tell you. So this becomes my class. If I define this kind of structure in programming language or any software, so this becomes my class. So this is my class, right? This truck becomes my class. This sedan becomes my class. Military vehicle becomes my class. And these things that you see here, these are my properties. Okay, so these are called as attributes of properties, and this is defined as class. Okay, once I define an class and an attribute, here if I define a class and say it is inherited from this, then automatically all these properties flows down. And similarly, if I define again down like this, based on different criteria, then it also goes like that. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the whole concept of inheritance, right? So we have two things.
Gotcha.
One is classes, right, which is kind of
Another
this.
one is
One
objects.
is
Yeah.
organization where you tag it. Okay. So once you tag this automobile to this organization, all these features will flow down. Okay. So we have to design that way. So if I design Tesla, I need to make sure that I have these components, insurance, loans, claims as divisions, and you need to put some units. And then my org is done. Once my org is done, then I have to define my class. So if I define my class, I need to understand where it should go. If I am talking about, like customer information, employee information, I'll put it here because I can get it everywhere. If I'm talking about insurance providers or something, I should put it at the right location because I need not have this here. And also the design should be very, very, what do you call it, little intelligent design so that you don't overload the system. Suppose you put everything at this level, then everything is available down, right? But then it is just overloading things, right? You are trying to get everything, then the system, suppose the system is trying to trace for a, suppose I'm, working in Pega, I can work at this layer. Okay? I have different layers. In Pega, I can say I'm working at this layer. Suppose I'm working here and I'm calling customer information. What it'll do is it'll go and check. It'll go check here, and then get it the stuff. Okay. So if I put this here, then it's going multi levels to check, which it can avoid, right? So it can just go first level and say, oh, I got it. I'm going in. So these are called as, there is something called as best matches. You will see best matches. Suppose I'm trying to search for insurance provider class, or I'm trying to search for customer info class. So what the system will do? System will go and check the hierarchy. Is it here? No. Is it here? Yes. It will provide it. So suppose I'm going for insurance provider, it will check here. Yes, I got it and gave it. So if you do put everything at this level, then the system is unnecessarily going multiple levels to check. Right? You're just consuming your resources, system performance, everything. So you have to design this in the right way. And this is usually a normal design. I mean, there's nothing, no rocket science here, right? It's kind of any organization. I mean, you guys are both experienced. You know how this is. It's a pure logical
Yep.
thing. And this is already laid down. Many organizations is already laid down, right? They will know things like that. Many new organizations may not have it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this is the way we have to design. So first, when we create the application, we should have this ready. So we should know what to do. Okay. So right now, when I'm creating Tesla, we'll create insurance. We are not going to create loans and claims, assuming that we need to at least do this part, then we'll migrate to others. Right. So even for this 30-hour session we'll be taking, we have to understand all the objects, all the features of Pega. So when I say features of Pega, make sure that you understand it is rules. When I say rules in Pega, it is features of Pega. Okay, whatever is given out of the box for it to play around. So to just understand that out of the box features, you need 20 sessions because there are many, many rules, around 50 odd rules, okay, for the basic things. Then there are many others. But the advanced, we are going basic and advanced, but there are more things which, we need not worry about now. So we'll create Tesla, we'll create insurance, this also we'll see. This is also not needed, but if you want, you can create, and then we'll see all the options. Once this is done, then you can leverage to other, things. So we'll use, we'll we'll come with a blank slate, and we need to come with a blank slate because then you'll understand how I'm building it. Suppose you reuse something, then you won't understand, right? How it got reused, how it got created. Right, so that's it. We'll start with a blank slate and then start building it. So let's do that. Any questions before I start?
No, I'm good.
Okay, Sudhakar.
Let's move on. Shiva.
Okay, can you give me 1 minute? I just need to change my headphones. 1 second.
Okay, you guys said something to me.
No. He was about to change the headphones.
Yeah, just a minute. I need to actually.
Oh, okay, okay.
My son is using this headphones. It's a kind of very headphone, heavy headphone. Anyway, let's continue with this. So my son does a lot of gaming, right? His headphone is so heavy. Okay. So how old is your son, Babu?
Both my boys are in college.
Oh, very good. Sudhakar, what about you?
No, I'm not married yet.
Ah, lucky guy, yeah.
Officially. Gifted man, not married yet. That's nice.
Okay. So somebody was telling me that day that you reached 40, you're a settled man. I said once I'm married, everything is variable, nothing is settlement. How would you define settlement? Okay. Okay, so fine. So we'll create our new app. So what do we need to do? So this is our base application yesterday, as I talked about, right? So we'll go and create an application. So you just have to go to your Pega rules, which is a base application, and then go to new application. Okay, so this interface they have changed from 7.4. In 7.2, you'll find a different interface, and so they're customized in a different way so that you can use. So suppose you want to use, so they have already given you some out of the box predefined process like request approval. You want to know some approval, there'll be a lot of approval process and orders and other things which is already built in. You can use this. So when you use this, they will actually use existing app and give you all the features which are available, and then you can just need to customize. Suppose you are working for a travel company. I don't know which one. For example, which is the biggest travel company, Thomas Cook. Suppose you're building Pega for Thomas Cook. Okay. So and the Pega, they say okay because you know it's a travel app, right? So when you click here and when you create, it will give you all those travel kind of information. We just need to reuse that. Okay. Then the service request. Suppose you are creating for an organization where it's more of ticket management. Okay, so you can go like a ticket management or customer service kind of request. Okay, so they have given other things also. If you go there, they'll find all kind of other types which is also available. So I mean the same thing we have to do. So here we'll go for custom. I mean they put in this custom in the sense that uh, create something which like a blank slate. So give me a blank slate and then I'll develop. Okay, so we'll go for this. You guys can try this how it works. Okay, there's no harm, and then you can
Mhm.
see what all things it does. But as I said, we'll go with blank slate. So we'll go here. So it will ask already know your way around Paga, use this custom template, and so we'll use this. Okay, so I'll show you how. So they have in 7.4 they're introduced what's a liquid interface, right? The interface which will fit in as per the application. So if you open a mobile, it will show like this. If you look on a iPad or laptop, it will change as per the device. So I don't think it was then 7.2. In 7.4, they have this liquid interface. So we'll see that how it is. Okay, so it is asking responsive only for tablet, only for mobile. Okay, you go for all the three devices, right? Then ask you colors. Okay, so yeah, you can select that. Okay, so we'll our name as Tesla Insurance. Okay, one second. I'm sorry. So yeah, so we'll put like this. Then we'll before we create, we go to this advanced configuration. So there are two things. Okay, in 7.2, what's a framework? Framework is something like So let me also brief you about that. So there are two types of framework. One is so you can. So what is a framework? You create once you create this application and framework. You can, for example, I was telling right, sales automation. Pega is giving you a framework called a sales automation. So if your application is based on sales work, sales process, then you can use a sales automation and then you can customize as per your needs. Even I was telling about Thomas Cook, right? If you have a travel application and if there's already built in by Pega, they actually sell those kind of frameworks. So basically your product, sub products, right? So these are kind of sub products which you can use and then you can leverage. So onboarding applications, they have sales automation, they have some part of CRM also. So those kind of things. So suppose you are trying to create your framework, right? You can create this application and create a framework, and then you can once that framework is created at the organization level, you can reuse that at different levels. Okay. But right now we are not. We'll go because we are trying to implement. Right, we are not trying to create any framework because implementation is we'll do all our business transactions. We'll actually play around with it. Suppose I'm creating this for a banking application. I'll be playing around in the sense I'll be creating transactions, credit, debit, withdrawal, loans, everything. I'll be doing daily transactions, and that the application has to work. When I say framework, it's kind of a structure for you. Right? So we'll go for implementation. In 7.2, you had options of both framework and implementation. But in 7.4, they separated it. Either you create a framework or implementation, like that they have done. So why is that? Because people do, because suppose you had an option of framework and implementation, they actually go for that option. And Pega creates a lot of classes and dependencies and stuff like that. When you select the third option, which is framework and implementation, sometimes it becomes heavy. And many of the times they never use a framework. They just create implementation, leave it. So framework, you understand, right? Something which is common, something you create common and reuse everywhere, and that is more of a structure, right? This is more of a structure. This is of the real work implementation actually. So we'll go for this.
So it is a predefined template kind of thing, right?
Correct, correct. So suppose I create this insurance application, okay, as a framework. Now I can take that. Remember, it's a structure, right? It's kind of having all classes. It doesn't have data. It's a structure, and you can put data also. When I say data, it doesn't have the business implementation, the what do you call transactions and day-to-day work, and that I can take as a product and give it to you and send it to you, and you can buy that and use it. Understand? So it's kind of a
Yeah.
framework. Here we are
Okay.
we are actually working on it. Okay, I'm not trying to create a framework kind of thing. I'm just trying to work on it. So Tesla application ID is Tesla Auto. I mean, you can change that version ID. So let me see if this number of characters it takes. So we put Tesla Auto here. Organization, it will put some random. In earlier versions, it never used to put that, but it's putting some random. So make sure you change it, because you forget this, it comes in your, it will come as OG something it will put, and then you have to again create one application. So make sure that you go to this advanced configuration, change it. So my organization is still Tesla. This is my top level, right? See, if you look at this, this is my top level. I'm talking about this level. Division, I can put insurance. This doesn't matter. So right now I'm creating for here. Once my whole exercise is done, you can actually create for here. Once you create for here, you will understand that all that we tagged here, it automatically comes here. Okay. The unit name, leave it as unit. Don't try to create multiple things. Just leave it for now. Then it is generating division lens. That's fine. So your application is called as Tesla Auto. Your organization, I want it as Tesla, and your work group, keep it as work. Okay. When I say work, this is where all your, if I'm talking insurance application, all the claims, all the new insurance, everything come here. It's day-to-day transactions. Okay. So that work layer will be. So I'll make you understand what all things are there. You saw right when I showed you last time. There are different things which the application creates. So we'll go and once we work, we'll understand all those. So we'll say same. So we're all good. Tesla Auto. So what is Tesla Auto? Your application. And what is Tesla? Your organization. So here Tesla is organization. So to bind everything together, they have created application, because this is my application. Okay. So I can have multiple applications in my organization. I can have Tesla insurance. I can have Tesla auto. I can have Tesla banking. I mean, there's no banking there. I can have Tesla. What all Tesla does? What do you call solar power? I mean, Tesla boring company. They have many things, right? So all those things you can put on that. Or you can say Tesla. What is that? Automated driving cars or whatever. So Tesla automobile insurance operations. You did this configuration. Now we create an application. So make sure that you select this. Just don't create, because it will create all those default values and then you will again create. So nobody joined now except us. Maybe all they are in Diwali mode. Huh? Okay.
Might be.
Anyway, no problems. I'll follow up. So Tesla Automobile Insurance Company has been configured, is now ready for use. Optionally add users. Now this interface is different from earlier version. So suppose, I'm just telling you the different versions different so that you understand. I mean, suppose somebody asks you, you should know what is what. So here you will have to add two users, administrator and author. Now what is administrator? We get the admin portal, right? Now what is author? This is the guy who will create users for the system. Okay. So here it needs an email ID. It doesn't mean it needs a real email ID. You can put it at Tesla at the rate admin.com. Or I can put admin at the rate Tesla.com. So this becomes my administrator. You just say add. So make sure that you copy this password. Then then we will. So default email ID was not validated. I will just ignore that. Put author. Why I'm adding this? Because we need to reset the password. Okay, then we'll just log off. Done. Okay. So we'll just log off because we are in the Pega base application. This is the base application, right? We need to go to work. So make sure you put the password as rules, RULES. Okay, rules everywhere. Because there are many places it will ask for password. So that you don't forget, we always put rules, RULES. I mean, you can put anything, but just to make sure that you don't mess up things just for password waste time. Okay, so your admin portal is getting ready. This is called as admin portal, right? So it will get create your to-do list, what you're doing, done, features, and all those things which are there. That's all fine. Then you got this is your landing page. That your see your application came here. See how it got created. Tesla Auto Work. What was Tesla? Your organization, right? What is Tesla Auto? Your application. So remember, organization hyphen application hyphen work. Now here is where our maximum work implementation will happen. In the sense, your business transaction. When I say business transaction, you understand, right? When I say business transaction, your day-to-day data which goes into the system, day-to-day insurance information, day-to-day claims information, day-to-day insurance claim settlement information, day-to-day new claims which are coming in the system, whatever your claim officers or staff is interacting with people, all those information, day-to-day transactions are supposed to go here. Okay.
So is
Then if
it
I go,
Tesla dot
no,
Tesla Auto or is it hyphen?
hyphen. Okay.
Okay.
And these are called as, so these are called as class groups. Okay. So why I'll tell you. So you have your Tesla, then you have a Tesla Auto, right? And then you have work. Okay, so these are called as what? Class group. Why? Because in this class group, Tesla Auto, if you look at this, you'll understand that your Tesla is your main organization. It is derived, Tesla Auto is deriving all from Tesla, and then we are in the work class. So what has Pega done is there are other class groups. Okay, uh, suppose I just remove this. I showed you this, right? There are other class groups, which is like int, work, data. So what is this class group? It is telling you that this data must all my configuration will go here. All my integration, external integration to external systems, email integration, file integration, web services will all go here. This is my business layer, business transaction layer. So that's why they are broken down into this. This also tells you in one shot that it is derived from this application and it's coming from here. Okay. Now suppose I remove this like this. Then you see further. So you see that from organization you have data, then you have framework also it's created. Framework in the sense if you want to use integration, Tesla or application side. So if I draw the whole structure as such, you have so if I draw the whole structure as such, you have Tesla sitting out here, right? And then you have Tesla Auto. What is Tesla Auto? Your application. Okay. So you can have one more application called as Tesla solar, solar company. So you can have this coming inside this Tesla. Right now we're talking about this. So we go, we're talking about this. And then it has three components, right? It has one, it has data. This is for structure or tables. Then this is your work. And then you have this int. What is it? Int is integration, right? So suppose I want to create a customer table. Where will I put?
Data.
Yes. So my tables will come here. Okay. So that clear?
Yeah, yeah.
Suppose I want to create integration to an Excel system to get what we call vendor information. I want to connect to an external table because vendor information in Tesla was created in SAP. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I want to connect to SAP and get vendor information. Where will I configure it? Vendors.
Integration, INT.
Yeah. So your tables will come here for sure. When I say table, it will store the data, right? But
Mm-hmm.
your configuration of classes will come here. You getting me what I'm saying, guys?
Yeah.
And after this is done, suppose you are doing some, you create your, what do you call? Suppose you are uh, trying to understand how many automobiles are provided by which vendors, and how many transactions happen, day-to-day work. It will go here, right? Your
Gotcha.
day-to-day is here. Okay. So this is how it is configured. Okay. Now also remember they have also done one more thing that you have provided here also. Suppose you can go here. There is also data here, right? Okay. There is also an int here at this level. You can see that also. Right? Now why are these done? Why are these required?
That is for the other business units.
Correct, correct. So suppose I create one application here, Tesla Solar, okay,
Uh-huh.
and I create this application inside Tesla. These two, whatever I configure, if I configure vendors here, it will this also will get.
Gotcha.
If I could put any like customer data here, customer data here, this also. You getting me? Now, what is a class group? So, what does a class group help you? So, what Pega has done is, if I look at this
So you
class
mean to
group
say that inside the org, those are all the common data across those applications, right?
inside the org, you mean this one, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So when I configure suppose that there is employee information. Okay. Now, if I put my employee table here, I'll put my employee table here. Okay,
Yes,
because
yes. Yeah.
once I put an employee table here, it's available for this application as well as for this application. This is an app, right? This is
Yeah,
also
yeah.
an app, right? And I have
Yeah,
one
got it.
more app called as Tesla Boring Company, which creates what it does create. You remember those? What is that called? Hyperloop. Huh? You guys know Hyperloop and all?
Hyperloop.
Tesla company. Tesla company, no? Babu must be knowing.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
They created that. What do you call Elon Musk? What is the name guy's name? Elon Musk.
Elon Musk. Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Yeah, Elon
And
Musk.
Musk.
Yeah, so he's making the Hyperloop, right? I think he's coming from this company. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is basically, if I put here, it flows into different app. If I put here, it goes to specific app, right? So, what are class groups? So what they have done is they have defined our class group as so a class. So Tata, sorry, what I'm saying Tata. Also Tesla Auto, and work. If I say like this, okay, this is one class. This is one class, but they designate this as class group so that you understand the hierarchy in one shot. Oh, I'm talking about auto. I'm talking about implementation layer here, right? I understand. If I say Tesla Auto, and then int, then I understand I'm talking about this integration layer, right? Now, if I put Tesla data, then I know that I'm at this layer. You getting me?
Got it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So please remember the structure because we are going to when I create classes, I'm going to create. We are going to create 30 days exercise. We are going to create innumerable classes. So you should understand where you are really are, right?
Mm-hmm.
You should not get confused saying that no. So I'll just save this each so that you can revisit. Okay. So now for us we are not going to create this separate apps. You guys can create later on, but right now I'll focus on this because we have so much stuff to do. When I do this, you'll understand how I'm doing. Okay. Let's go ahead.
Sure.
So that is class group. So you understand, right? So this is your app explorer. Okay. So when I put a hyphen, you will see all this. So you understand Tesla data where it stands, right? Then you understand Tesla int where it stands, right? And then this is at your app level. This is your org head level, right? Suppose you have separate apps, more apps, it will go again down, 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 down. Okay. And suppose you want to, if you want to have division levels, so it may also come. Suppose you want to use, suppose your divisions are very specific, it will also create like this for you: Tesla app, Tesla auto, then insurance, then work. This also will come. Okay. And suppose you have a division like Bangalore or California, it will also make like this. Okay. So right now we don't want to make a big string out of this, but you understand what I'm saying, right? There is organization, application, division, unit, then work. Okay. So inside work also you will have, suppose I'm managing my claim settlement, so I can have claim. This is my functionality. This is my functional claim settlement. So I'll have like this claim settlement. Then I can also have claim verification. You understand? So these are my functionalities. I can have this functionality inside my work layer, for which I'm building, right? I can build all this. But this is to tell you, I'm in the implementation layer. I'm in this organization. I'm at unit New York. I'm in the unit Connecticut. Okay. But to avoid this big structure, I'll make it very simple. We'll keep it Tesla auto, and work. You got it right? We'll work with this rather than creating complicated stuff. Okay. But you understand what I'm saying, right? In any organization, big organizations, you might find this big structure. Sometimes they put, if it is Tesla, they might put TS, and if there is app, they'll put TS app, and then they will put INS and CA to make it very small, right? And then work is anyway, you cannot reduce the text, and then this will be your functionality, okay? For what function you are building, right? This is function. You getting me? What I'm saying? So you understood, guys, because it's very important what you're talking about. And all this leaf UC is kind of a classes for you, and inside that you will see a lot of things. Yeah. So this is our uh, admin portal. Okay. Now we need to log in as author because I need to create 2 more users. Okay. So I'll go here as author. So make sure that you create this, change these passwords. Otherwise, you have to go to admin console and then reset the password and all this crap.
There is a missing R in the author.
Oh, sorry. So when you see author, it will actually give you, author is kind of a, guys, or kind of a team lead. Imagine a team lead. And then he's trying to create people apps for you. So if you go to, so if you look at this, you see the things changing. This is for a mobile app. This is for the pad. This and all we did not have in 7.2. Okay. So suppose I click here, it will show you how it looks on an iPad. Suppose I click here, show you how it looks on an iPhone, and then you can scroll down and see how it works.
Right? So it is like by default it will be compatible with across the devices. Am I right?
No. When we created, it was asking you whether you want.
Yeah, we selected in the beginning, like whether we are selecting all 3 or 1 or whatever it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You saw there was 3 options. One was what was that? Responsive interface. and then it showed tablet and it showed mobile. So if you select tablet and mobile, don't do that because your all application will shrink, right? Right now you guys are configuring laptop, right? So better than use responsive only. This is the response. This is our main mode. Then you can go and see how it looks. Because your once you go, right, your menu is going to shrink, right? The menu and see all this will go down. Anyway, so this is a beautiful thing which they have given, and then you have other devices out here. Okay, but now our focus is not that. That's our main thing. So now what we have to do is we have to configure people. Okay. So I was showing you, right, there are two set of games. So this is kind of a admin and author are more of kind of an these people. This admin is basically a developer. Author could be a business user trying to create users, but we need two set of users for our application. One is a manager. So if you go here, we'll see two set. Okay, so one is manager. So we need manager because to understand how the approvals happen, right? So test. So Pega gives you two set of people to play around with the application. You can create more as it goes. So manager test a lot of things and add this. So initially go and keep it so that because these guys we need to change our context to manager and user to understand how it looks after we configure. So that is important that we keep it. Okay, I'll go to user. So we're done with this. And then you get okay, done. I'll right now only change because later on I'll forget. Because we need these users. So this is your manager portal. So manager, you'll see that reports, my team, pulse. We'll all see that. Okay? Don't worry about that. This is manager. One second for user. In 7.2 and all, it was quite easy because it automatically creates users and gives password rules to everybody. And here actually we have to do all this. So the user console, you can see there is no team. There is a team, but there are no reports. So there are different consoles given to different people. But we need to understand because this is like a lower level worker, an approver, and then our admin guy. So that helps us to configure everything. Okay, so we are done. So we are done with the settings. Now we can go to admin. That's the it. Tesla.com and then rules. Now our application is all set. We have set the users. We are done with the application. We are ready with it. Okay. So try to create these users, and you guys understand, right? So I'll send you some notes on what is this hierarchy is, what is int layer, what is a class group. You understand what's a class group now, right? This called as
Yep.
class, and there are
Yeah.
some concept of inheritance we need to do. which we'll do later. But you have to understand this basic thing so that you understand where we are talking, what we are talking about. So what we'll do next class is we'll create our first flow. I was thinking of creating today, but that's fine. We'll create our first flow and see how it runs. Okay, then you understand what I'm talking about differently. So when I'm talking about, they'll be talking about sections, we're talking about flow action. So we'll go about talking about new rules in paper. So when I say rules, you understand, right? Out of the box features.
Yep.
So please complete this so that tomorrow I'll be kicking out with all our application or all our configuration things.
Sure.
Sure, Shiva.
Okay.
So basically, for the material and other things, do we get it online itself or how it is?
So after every class, I have my own set of notes,
Okay.
which I'll send you. I'll put in my drive and I'll send you actually. I email it because sometimes if I remove my drive, you won't get it. So I email it so that you can send your repository.
Sure,
And
sure.
so for example, this class is what is the class group and all those I'll send you. So every class when we take something, I have a specific notes. I'll forward you that. Okay, that is one thing. Second thing is you were asking me yesterday about certification something, right, Babu?
That is
Okay,
correct. The certification material and other things.
yeah.
Because
So if you go to my drive, now did you notice that? So there are a few dumps which I have. So one is your interview dump, which is around, I don't know, many questions are there for to prepare for interviews. Then you have examination dump. There are two dumps which is for CS and CWSA part. So that
okay.
itself has 170 odd questions with the answers. Okay. So this has been compiled by various people across many years. And if you go through that examination dump, you are sure to pass because it comes in that, at least 60% comes in from that set.
And just a curious question, like during the interviews, will they be asking? I mean, anyways, we need to fake the experience, right? So will they be asking any like in the previous versions how it was working, something like that? Should we
Yeah,
expect
so
those
that,
kind of questions?
that's why I'm giving the flavor of 7.2.
Okay.
So, right, when I'm talking, I talk about 7.2 also.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you can note it down, it will be very good. I mean, I can, if you want, I can, whenever suppose I'm sending you a document today, right? I can just tell you that how it looks in 7.2. But just keep a note of it. What is the difference, right? I said, like for example, I was saying, yeah, when we create an application, 7.2 is quite different. They have framework, implementation, and third choice, framework and implementation. In 7.4, the third choice is gone, right?
Gotcha.
Okay.
So yeah, so there are a few things. So see, actually, what I used to do and is that I used to start with 7.2, and after 10 classes, I used to move to 7.4. You know, so what we used to do is we used to export from 7.2 our application and then import. So that gives an idea of export and import also. But then we landed with a lot of complications because people got frustrated installing, uninstalling. Okay. And sometimes the batches are very good people, like very techie people. Sometimes, it's very difficult. So they start cursing me saying that why this guy is doing me a lot of things. So then I stopped. I started doing 7.4. So that used to give you both flavor of both, right?
Gotcha.
So I have kept it one small machine where 7.2 is still running. So if you want, I can show you there how it looks.
Gotcha. And generally, I mean, if we Google it, we will get all the variations, what is there, what is not there, and we can confirm with Shiva at the end of the day,
Yeah, the
whether
problem.
this statement is
Yeah,
good or bad.
correct. Yeah, the problem is 7.4 people have just started using it,
Mhm.
So, the materials may not be too abundant or much in that.
Extensive, yeah.
But if you ask me, I'll tell you because I've now worked on both, right? So I know.
Generally,
So I,
the portal should have the version related changes, correct? Because
correct. So release
SAP
notes,
generally gives us release notes.
correct. If you check the release notes, you'll get it.
That's right.
Yeah. But if you want to relate where it is what, I can show you on the screen what is what there. So
Uh-huh.
if you want to see 7.2 in one of the classes, I can show you what is 7. I just need to connect to my old machine and I can show you that.
And the fun part is, like going back to the question what he said, like I don't know in India how they treat it, but here if you fake it, especially in Pega and SAP, they know that okay, this guy is, bluffing around because they have the whole list of projects which is running here and people working on it.
Hmm. No, no. So what I think, Babu, it's all based on your confidence. Okay.
That's correct.
Uh, so first is, first if you see whatever I'm teaching, if you do very, liberally and what I call very studiously, very disciplined manner, if you follow, then you
Hmm.
actually are able to, understand all the rules. Okay. And then if I give you the case study, and then you brainstorm yourself, you're able to understand that. Okay.
That's
And
correct.
then once, suppose you're putting in a resume and you
Hmm.
have your story, you have a story very well done. Okay. Suppose you're talking about implementing for some customer,
Hmm.
and your story, you're very well structured it.
That's
Okay.
correct.
So you
Like
can
that's
start.
the same thing,
Uh,
like for scenario wise, like, okay, for a
correct.
customer, you build it. This is what you have done, and you've done a research on that particular customer and mapped
Yeah.
it accordingly. And then you can,
Yeah. Yeah.
inform them and tell them the way you have done it, why you have done it.
Hmm. So suppose they ask you for what, why you integrated to SAP system. Suppose they ask you,
Hmm.
due to integration, you will say yes. And they will ask you, okay, for what, where did you integrate? You will say SAP. Then they will ask you why, what did you integrate? Which information did you integrate? Did you integrate vendor information, supplier information, or what kind of information? So you should be ready with the story, right?
That is
I
correct.
connected like this. I got this information. We do case syncing. We do through web services or database connection.
Hmm.
So you have to nicely, very confident about your story.
That's correct.
So what I generally tell them is, whatever is your previous project, you
Hmm.
know the whole business case. Try to build that business case for Pega, and that
Pega.
should work. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
Mimic that.
yeah, yeah, because that business, once you're working on a project, you know the whole business functionality,
Hmm.
and once you build the same story in Pega, then you are very much confident what you're doing.
Gotcha.
So once they understand, maybe they'll understand that you're really not worth it. But once you understand how you're, suppose you're able to work on it, that's it, right? They just want you to work and do it.
Yeah, yeah.
If your concepts are clear, then they don't really mind.
That's right. Long way to go.
That's, I mean, people generally see. Just now, there was a guy, Anudeep, okay, Malali, another Malali,
Uh-huh.
Anudeep Abraham from Canada. Just now we finished a batch. He finished the certification also. In one day, he finished the certification, and
Awesome.
he's going for the next level. And that guy is little smart. He goes, before I take the class, he's ready with stuff. So
Mm.
That's
like
really
like
nice.
yeah. So it really depends upon interest. Once you are going to it, and Pega
Hmm.
has so much demand. They are just waiting for people to come. There's so much shortage. If you just put it, there was another guy called as Arjun who put a fake resume in the Naukri
Hmm.
just to see that how much calls he gets, and he only told me he's getting 2 3 calls every day.
Gotcha.
So people do all this kind of experiments to understand how Pega is. But yeah, Pega, there is a lot of shortage, so you are sure that you will get people. You will be getting
Even
opportunities.
here in US, like it's doing really good.
Yeah,
So, what is the
yeah.
minimum experience they are looking for in this area as such?
So there is a developer profile. They see
Okay.
minimum 2 years. So one of my guy from previous Capgemini, probably like 6 to 8 months back, when he was working, and he shifted to Nokia, I think. He got paid from 6 lakhs to 12 lakhs, double the salary. And he
Okay.
showed 3 years experience he was showing. For people like us with more than 10 years experience, we need to at least show 3 years on the plate. Otherwise,
Okay.
if you say 1 year, they don't really entertain.
Mm-mm.
Um, if you have to show like 2 or 3 at least with the certification, so
Okay.
that gives you a lot of weightage. And these people are behind lead system architect. Lead system architect like CSA,
Hmm.
CWS. Lead system architect itself takes another 12 months to complete. Uh, so their LSCs are very much demand because there are very less LSCs in the market.
Okay.
So, No, it's a good market. Market is very good for Pega. Uh, and there is that AWS and AI picking up. I don't know about AI. AI is just a
Mhm.
misconception, or AI is really into the market. I really don't understand.
So there's a
Uh,
lot of project going in the area here, but
acha, acha. Yeah.
AI, IoT, machine learning, those are the
But
buzzwords now.
are they really research, or they're really developing and implementing something? I don't know.
Not much projects have been successful, but they are spending
Mm.
a lot of money on that technology.
Yeah, yeah. So I heard that AWS, all these institutes which give me work, right? They say that AWS is in the top list. Even Python is in the top list of people trying to learn.
Yes, and in
Mm.
fact, I work in this AWS only.
Ah, very good. Very good.
So my manager said that your comment was similar with my manager as well. Like he told there is so much demand with Pega also. So why don't you learn?
Yeah, Pega is a lot of demand. And Pega is something very interesting. When you work, you can see a lot of, there's no
You can
nothing
be
like
more
what we,
creative, right? As such.
yeah, yeah. You don't need not depend on any developer, man. You can do yourself everything, test everything.
And again, out of curiosity, so here we are talking about this integration, right? So are we going to configure the ports which are is open and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
give all those configuration details, or how are we going to give this? I mean, at a high level, maybe I'm
So we have an exercise of, you know, uh, see this one. We have what you call REST services, SOAP services. There is an
Hmm.
exercise for services which itself will take, SOAP will take two classes, REST one class, file one class. So 3 to 4 classes will go for connectors. Okay, when I say
okay.
connectors, it is integration to external systems. Okay, and there is also database, external database connection. Okay, so if you go to this video, I mean, this is too little early for you guys. Uh, but if you go to my second video, this is the one which this one. See how to connect to Pega data types and external DB tables. So this just tells you step by step, which I've put over here, how to configure. So this is the database connection part. Uh, so if you
Okay.
look at this, this is has let's see, where is SOAP. So see, working with services SOAP. Okay, REST server integration. So though this is one line, this itself takes 1.5 classes. Okay, this itself takes 2 classes. Okay, because there are so many things here. Then file listener. Suppose a big Excel file comes to you like 10,000 lines of file. You need to integrate into the system, right? How do I do that? Okay, and packaging. How do you package this? So RDB. This is connecting to external DB. That you can follow that video, 20
Hmm.
minutes video. These agents. What are these jobs? Everyday jobs which are running inside the system. Okay, and there is email integration, file integration, REST integration, SOAP integration. Okay, so integration will be done extensively. Okay,
Okay.
uh, so I mean this whatever I have is very extensive list actually. So we need to go like day by day. There will be a lot of work, but yes, you will be very much exposed to SOAP. I'll teach you all everything about SOAP and everything.
So this is on the application side, right? So on
Uh,
the other side of it, like say for example, in SAP we have something called basis, right? uh, Regarding the product itself. There'll be somebody who's like a system admin who will maintain all those things, and resource allocation or hardware allocation and things like that. From the
hmm.
interview perspective, do we have all those down the line? Like we can get all those info as well, right?
So just trying to understand. So you are saying like a configuration manager or
No, no, not basically. Like say we are as a product, right? When I'm trying to install it and try to do
okay.
all
Hmm.
those,
Hmm.
on the other side of it, whatever we did the application on the each laptop, right? When it comes to
Ah,
an EA in the enterprise application
ah,
level,
ah, ah,
we
ah.
will be doing this at the server level, right? And
Yeah.
then
Hmm.
possible on the server requirements and other side of the world.
Right. So how it is done is, see, in Capgemini, we used to have one business analyst at the onshore at the
Hmm.
US, and then one lead system architect over there. and the other senior system architects all used to get offshore. So the lead system architect, so what they will do is they will do a what you call kind of a study to understand
Hmm.
number of users using the application. Suppose they say for HP they have 10,000 users or anticipated number of users. Then
Gotcha.
they'll ask you how many concurrent users are possible, how many
Hmm.
regions are going to use it, how many
Gotcha.
applications you're going to configure. There's a template actually. So they will collect
Hmm.
all this. So once you understand the template, they will do a sizing, right? So there
That's
is
what it is. That's what
correct. So
I'm
that is
coming to.
something correct. So there is a
So we'll
inside.
go there when time comes.
Yeah,
I was a little
uh,
curious to understand. That's it.
no problem. It's a valid question. So if you go here, there is a sizing template. I just need to figure out where it is. You understand what is sizing template, right?
Yeah, yeah, I do.
In the sense like how many nodes, or in here they call
Gotcha.
nodes, right, or
Yeah, it
servers we need, how
depends on the
many.
users, depends
Yeah,
on the users and things like that. Yes.
see the sizing.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a specification matrix, requirement matrix. You can actually check everything. So if you go to sizing, in that sizing template you will see how many servers you need, how many. It's all based on your number of hits, right? Suppose you have huge number of hits, you need number of servers to be open to the application like that,
Gotcha.
right? Uh, so all those kind of things are really done. So create project sizing. So this will generate. This is kind of a personal edition. So I don't know what is this going to generate. So
Mm-hmm.
say attach project sizing to application. So you will do all your research and put it here, and then it will create. And
So,
then after, tell me.
so adding to this question, is this something a lead system architect
Yes.
will do this,
Yes.
or CSA and or a CSSA? Who does this?
CSSA can also do this.
Okay, gotcha.
Generally, but is in what I've seen is lead system architect will suppose it's a new application, so they will collect all the information required for sizing. Then
Mm-hmm.
once the sizing is achieved, once the sizing is understood, and they will deploy it. Once you deploy, you understand number of servers. Then you need development stage, QA, everything available, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so we have to understand that Pega is a big. I mean, it's not a small product; it's a big product. So you need sufficient RAM and everything, which is already needs to be available. Uh, so uh, what I'm saying, yeah. So when you install Pega, you have to configure. This is a personal issue. When you install the enterprise, it will ask you the cluster, how many
Mm-hmm.
clusters you need, how much load balancing you need, and to what database you're connecting. Now this is using some what is it, PostgreSQL or whatever that is the freeware. They'll ask you Oracle, then you configure Oracle database, right, or SQL Server or whatever. Uh, so all those configuration. Then will ask you whether you want to use Apache Tomcat or WebLogic. So I've seen people using WebLogic or WebSphere because it depends upon what your organization is comfortable in hosting, right? So the whole game will change in terms of when you go for an enterprise level thing, right?
Gotcha.
Uh, yeah. So those kind of things are usually done by, let's say, and usually depends. For example, Babu, you are in SAP, so SAP may have preferred app servers, right? They may say
Mm-hmm.
we only use WebSphere, and WebSphere is shared across the organization. So you have to install WebSphere.
Gotcha.
So and if you are
And
totally into VMs, they will install in VMs and all. Yeah, tell me, Snug.
yeah, sorry. Maybe on the infrastructure aspect, are we guys supposed to be involved, or will they be taken care by the infrastructure guys as such, like provisioning the infrastructure for this enterprise or even the?
Yeah, so generally, what I've seen is Capgemini and all. They have a separate team, VM team. So we just need to tell the VM team that I need so much space, so much memory, so much RAM, so much CPU.
Mm-hmm.
Because based on your load, you will say I need 16 CPUs or 20 CPUs for this to work, and then they give you space. Or if there is already Pega available, they will just give you a license to install that and give you all the required information. So generally, they are all done by your what do you call which department do you
Basically,
call
in
that?
our company, we
Uh,
have
uh,
application support and DevOps team.
correct, correct. They do that always.
They deploy
So
everything.
I mean, they will give you space. Suppose you are new to Pega, organization new to Pega, then you have to deploy it, right? but the infrastructure is provided by separate team in big
Okay.
organizations. So whenever you get, suppose you're bidding for a project, okay. The first thing is we are bidding for a project, right? Suppose you don't have Pega, you're bidding for a project. When you're bidding for a project, you need to create your proposal. So the proposals are usually created by LSCs, okay. And CSAs also contribute because we'll be pulled into various proposals, because based on the based on the business scenario, you need to understand how many rules you have to use, right? How much time it will take for you to develop, how much time for testing is very important in Pega, okay. We usually have a separate testing team for Pega, because you have to Pega is kind of a workflow, right? You will feed the data in start of the flow, and then you'll see how it comes out at the end of the flow, because the flow is not like a 2-3 steps, right? It's very complex. So there are Pega testing team who know about Pega testing separately, because there is simulation module and all those kind of things in Pega. It's a separate chapter altogether. So so you need to understand, when you put a proposal, if you want to do an estimate, you need to understand all this. How much time you're going to take testing, right? How much how much rules are going to use, because you need to configure those rules, right? So the all will take. So that is first is bidding, which LSA and CSA will do. Once the bidding is done, then there is deployment, which usually is done by LSA and CSA, CSSA. And then we start working, designing, it's LSA. Implementation, CSSA, right? Usually LSA and
Okay.
CSSA go hand in hand.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's an existing application, then CSSA can manage a lot of things. And then you need a lead to do the Scrum and what do you call agile framework and all those kind of sprint releases.
Yeah. Got
Okay, guys.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks, Shiva.
See you
Thank
tomorrow.
you.
Talk to you
See you
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
Bye.
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 Okay,
Bye.
bye.